do you know the other funniest thing is, in aviation we have VNCs called visual navigation charts, and you actually have the same thing for ships.
And funny enough, if you take that map and you trace the Tropic of Cancer on that map, and then you trace the Tropic of Capricorn on that map, and then you trace the equator on that map, the equator is bigger than both the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn.
Yep.
Where's burn proof?
That's not true.
Stone cold proof.
Where is it?
Is your shirt made in China?
I'm just using the shit that Robert Simmons used to paste onto a globe from a flat map.
Well, I think your
hang on,
shirt is pretty good
hang on.
proof, and it's hanging on your back. So
hang on. See, the funniest shit that Robert Simmons said is that I'm sure one of you flat earthers are an artistic kind of person. How the fuck do you paint a 3D object on a circle without taking into account what Robert Simmons said? How do you do it? It's not what the fuck I'm talking about. Is how would you're saying that you can't prove a globe? How the fuck would you put photographs around a globe, around an orange?
I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying you haven't.
Oh my sweet
Take
baby
that 40,000
Jesus!
photo library that exists,
Sweet
and
baby Jesus!
Cut and paste the 40,000 photographs onto a flat surface. I'd like to see you do it.
Yo, he said it was the hardest part, right?
Take the 40,000 photographs, the little flat photographs.
It would be the hardest
onto
part.
a flat surface.
So ask yourselves, why did Robert Simmons start with a flat map?
I just said it would be the hardest part, not seeing the other side of the fucking globe. It's not science and rockets.
He didn't start with a single flat map.
Started out with 40,000 flat maps.
Of course he fucking didn't. Jesus fuck.
Yeah, see, percentage is fucked up again.
am I
Yo, it doesn't matter if it's one or many.
Am I misremembering? Isn't Robert Simmons the one you're quoting, the NASA guy who was in charge of the Blue Marble? Am I getting that name wrong?
He's not
Yes.
actually a NASA employee,
So-
I don't think, but he did that job, yeah.
So you're
And
talking
it's
about
NASA employee.
And his
You're
half
talking
brother
about
was the guitarist for Kiss.
the images that were captured from low Earth orbit, which is another thing that only works on a spherical planet.
Yeah, it's a positive claim. Love to see the proof on that.
No, they were
Sure.
captured from a GoPro from the lower part of his guitar, close to the stage at a Kiss concert. Robert Simmons.
No,
And impregnated in that claim is that these low Earth orbit things
Hold on.
were suspended by
If you-
gravity.
If he's good enough for you to claim him, then he's good enough for me to claim him.
Incorrect.
No,
So-
no. I'm not claiming anything. I'm just making stupid claims here, like you guys do. That's all I'm doing. I can't. Your stupid claim. I can't take a measuring tape to the sun, so I can't measure it's 93 million miles away.
Correct.
I'm making the same stupid claim.
You couldn't do that with Australia or New Zealand. You can't take a measuring tape across New Zealand and measure it.
Exactly. I'm making the same stupid claim.
So, in terms of
Just
what
because
Robert
you have a
Simmons said.
stupid claim, it doesn't make you right. It makes you more stupid than correct. Get that?
this is a red
through
herring,
your
you're
noggin.
digressing from the point.
If you're going to quote Robert Simmons, please
It's
quote
not a red
all
herring.
or
It's
none.
a dumb fuckery fallacy correcting a fallacy.
Okay, so the whole point of flat earthers quoting Robert Simmons or whatever is basically internal criticism of the heliocentric model. So it should be coherent within itself.
What does Robert Simmons say? What does the
He
rest
says-
of that interview say? Does
he
it
says-
say the
doesn't-
images came from satellites?
It's a long
Robert-
interview, bro. You have to be more
Robert
specific.
Simmons has nothing to do with anything.
Sure, that's what a glober that's realizes he fucked up and said too much.
No.
would say-
No. Robert Simmons has nothing to do with anything.
The hard part was creating a flat map of the Earth's surface with 4 months of satellite data.
Satellite data.
Then we wrapped the flat map around a ball.
Satellite data.
No.
Something that is
Hang
impossible
on. Satelloon data. Don't say satellite. Don't say satellite on my globe Earth, motherfucker.
This entire thing is your claim, so you have to prove that it's satellite
Right.
data.
So
No. You're saying satellite data.
Enough for you to
No.
enough for us to quote.
Again, internal
No.
criticism.
You can't say that the Earth's flat and say satellites. So you got to say satelloon. So you got to take
Again,
that
I'm
back.
testing
I'm highly
your.
fucking offended.
Listen, I'm testing your conception on its value, like at face value. I'm taking what you're saying, what the claims that you agree with, which Robert Simmons are, his claims you agree with, right? Unless you go saying he's wrong.
I would no when you invoke everything that he said and not just one sentence out of the middle of a very long interview. We agree with him.
Okay.
But when you only take that one sentence in obscurity, then it doesn't mean a dang thing because
100%. I agree.
In context.
All right, I agree. So right now I'm not making any claims. I'm judging
Except you
the stuff that
you're
you believe
claiming that
of him.
you're claiming that he is saying that you can't use it from a flat map. He is
What?
claiming he got the
What?
he.
When did I
That's
say
what
that?
you just said.
No, I said he started with a flat map from the
Okay.
satellite data. That hasn't been proven, right?
Show
But
us
he
the map.
took the flat map and he made it into a globe.
Show us the map or shut up. Show us the flat map or be silent.
He just said the hard part was creating a flat map.
Okay.
You wrap the flat map
where
around
is
the
it?
ball.
Where is it?
So
Where is it then?
hold up.
Let's
Are you
see
disagreeing
it.
with him?
No, come on. Let's
See,
see
this
it.
is my
You want
point.
evidence?
You guys either
want
agree with
evidence?
him or
You said there is
disagree with him.
evidence of a flat map. You said you made a positive claim that there is a flat map created from the satellite data.
No, I'm just quoting
Prove it.
Robert Simmons,
No,
who you guys agree with.
Prove it. You are using that
See, this is-
aspect as part of your argument.
This is you being an apologist.
You put up or shut up.
I am. I'm putting up your guys' claims, which is Robert Simmons' accuracy in what he's saying, and I'm testing it for internal
But you
validation.
can't prove, no, you are just quoting bullshit. You cannot prove anything you are saying.
So,
there is
you
no
think
flat
Robert
map.
Simmons talking bullshit then?
You're cherry picking one sentence out of a
No, I'm not.
very
We can
long
take
interview.
everything he said.
Okay, let's take everything he said. Where did those images come from?
He says they came from 4 months of satellite data.
Cool. Satellites are impossible on a flat Earth.
But
Next.
again, this isn't my claim. Hold up. I'm just testing the
Right,
coherency of yours.
But-
So
So
for the things
either
that hold up.
either A, he's lying.
No, but listen. So the things that I have contention with, they're still your claim. You have to provide the positive, the proof of it. You get me?
Okay,
I've
go for
received
it.
pictures. I've received pictures from satellites. Been doing it for decades. What's the problem?
Yeah, but impregnated in this satellite claim is that they're being suspended or like in orbit due to gravity. So if you can prove that he got this flat map, he created it from 4 months of satellites in orbit due to gravity, that's fine. That we would love that evidence. Secondly,
Cool.
you would have to concede.
There are radio
hold on,
sources.
I'm not
There
done.
are
Secondly, you
devices
would have
up
to
there.
concede that he made this ball by wrapping the flat map around it. He had the flat map before he had the globe.
Nope.
Where is this map? Where is it?
And it's not even what he says in his interview, let alone the misquote. Or
Quote, then we wrapped the flat map around a ball. My part was integrating the surface clouds and oceans to match people's expectations of how the Earth looks from space. The ball became the
And
famous blue marble. End quote.
What was the map he was talking about? Was it a map?
The flat map is the
I
one that
used
he
to
mentioned
try.
earlier, which is the hard part. Quote, the hard part was creating a flat map of the Earth's surface with 4 months of satellite data. End quote.
Let's see this flat map.
Ask Robert Simmons, the guy that you agree with, apparently.
No, it's your
You're
map.
taking it
See,
as
one
evidence.
of you
are
says
using
that
it.
what he says
It's your
is
map.
accurate.
You
The other one is
brought
trying to divert from him.
You
as if he's
brought
like,
it as
you know,
your
wrong.
map.
Yeah, you put it forward that there is an existence, a flat map of the Earth. Go for it. Show
I
it.
didn't say that.
Yes,
I'm
you
testing
did.
your
You are
claim.
plucking out. You are plucking out of what Robert Simmons said this as a fact. Let's see.
Yeah, I don't have contention with that part of what he said. I'm
No,
contending
we do.
other stuff.
We do, because we say
Okay, then.
full of shit.
But it's your claim, bro.
No, listen.
No, it's not. No,
Robert Simmons is your witness.
no, he's not.
The conversation went like this. You
You don't
said,
get on the
we
same
have
page.
map. Someone said, you don't have map. You said, we have map. Say, what map? You said, for example, the map of this Robert Simmons.
That's
Where
not how
is
the
it?
conversation went.
That's how
Please
it
don't put
was. You
words in
can
my mouth.
go back and listen to it.
I never once said we have a flat map. Nice try.
Yes, you did.
No, I did not.
You did.
Pull up the quote. Let's go.
You pull it out. You still
Don't
no,
prove your claim now.
no.
That's what's wrong with you,
Prove me
Clovers.
wrong.
You also said international shipping's not a thing, so
I said I deny that it has relevance to do with the shape of the Earth.
which is just the most idiotic thing you can say.
Red herring.
Hey, we can pull this whole fucking shit out tomorrow with some experiments with us around the world.
As long as you guys agree that Robert Simmons had a flat map before he had a globe. He wrapped a flat map around a ball
We
to
need
make
to
the
see
globe.
it.
No, I don't.
And
He
that-
didn't.
how it looks.
He didn't have a flat map. He had a collection of data. That's what he had.
He says he created a flat map with
Yeah.
that data.
Right.
He didn't create a
Just because
globe.
you
with
don't
that data.
understand.
He didn't create
Because
a
you
ball
don't
map.
understand that percentage, that's not our problem.
Yeah,
No, so typically you have the globe, and then you get the flat map projections from that globe.
Show us.
He did
Show
it
us the flat map
backwards.
projection.
Fine.
What he had is a series of bands about 2,300 kilometers wide. He had bands that were collected each time it went around from pole to pole. It made a 2,300 kilometer band that would have gone all the way around the Earth once. He would have had a collection of these bands, and when laid the flat, there would have been huge chunks missing out of him, just like you've seen before when you lay the globe out flat. And there's like those cuts that like they have slits because it doesn't fit correctly. He would have had something like this that overlapped each other, and if it had been piecing that together, that he would have ended up with a flat rectangular depiction of the Earth, which you can then use to put into into a sphere. I had to do this yesterday when I was making those spheres for Jeremy's thing that I was making for him, because I had to draw on the longitude lines for the tropics or whatever. So yeah, when it comes
I got you.
rectangular, you have to place it onto the spherical shape. But before doing that, you have to, like I said, take those bands and piece it together, because it wouldn't have made a perfectly rectangular shape without
Okay.
those slits
So-
in there.
Here's my thing. So you guys contend that what he's saying is true and accurate, right?
No,
What?
no. What we are
Where
saying,
was Robert Simmons wrong?
he did not have a flat map of the Earth at any time.
The hard part was creating a flat map of the Earth's surface from 4 months of satellite data.
Yeah, and he has spoken.
Yeah, he said it was
inaccurately.
hard because he didn't have it to begin with. He had to
Huh.
create a flat map from spherical data.
That's fine. You can
Kosho
have
said.
it
And
like
as
some
Kosho
satellite
said.
spiritual data. That's fine. But he had a flat map. This guy's trying to say
No,
he didn't.
as Kosho said, Kosho put the details that wasn't in that popular press media statement. This is not any kind of accurate scientific claim that Robert Simmons is making.
Do you
He's
guys all agree with
he's
this
a
guy?
promo
That
guy.
he didn't have
And
a
he
flat map that he
spoke-
created?
He spoke inaccurately. He never had a single two-dimensional flat map which represented the globe.
What do you mean?
He is-
Which represented
he
the
is-
world?
He has said that in multiple interviews and gets very angry at flat earthers for misquoting him.
What did he? What was the correct
No.
statement? What's the accurate statement?
What Kosho said, a number of strips, two-dimensional strips of the surface from
Mhm.
satellite images.
Which you combine together into a flat map.
Yeah, but if you combine those together, if you lay those together just side by side, you don't end up with the flat map either. You have those slits in between them. It makes like a. I posted a GIF that shows you how those strips are collected. You
Okay,
can see
so
the spaces between them. There's gaps between them.
yeah, that's fine.
You lay the
Like
flat
that's
together.
what you would expect with like trying to open up
Yeah, sphere, yeah.
a circle into a flat thing. Yeah, that's fine. It would still be a flat map. It would and you would just wrap it around the globe and it would be seamless, right? So
Okay.
if you had this thing, even if it had these gaps or whatever, where is it?
Hang on, who's a flat earther here? So everyone knows.
Don't worry about it.
I'm the flat
Just
earther.
address the arguments and not the arguers.
Percentage. I found
Okay.
your quote. I found your quote. If you hear
I want
yourself,
the
say
actual
you have a
flat
map,
map that we're
you
talking
have a map.
Okay, so
You also have a map.
if you're making a map around a sphere, do you actually honestly think that you can make flat maps? They're not going to be flat. They're not going to be square. What shape would you think they'd be?
Oh, I forgot the name of it.
Oh, I'd call it a slice of a pizza. Would be a good start, maybe.
What's the question?
If you're mapping a globe, you're not going to make flat maps. The maps will be flat, but when you wrap it around the globe, what shape would they be? What shape would they not only be, what shape would they have to be?
If you took the flat map and you try to wrap it around a globe?
If you're trying to map the globe, which is what we're actually on, even though you don't believe it, if you're trying to map it, what shape, maps are flat, what shape would that map have to be?
If you're trying to map the globe onto a flat map or onto...
Holy fuck, it's not science and rockets.
No, but your question makes no sense. Like, what are you saying?
It makes a shit ton of sense.
Maybe
What
someone
shape
else
is a
can
pizza?
ask
What
the
shape
question.
is a pizza?
A circle.
A circle. And how do you divide up the circle?
As many slices as you want. 8, 6, 12. It's up to you.
Exactly. And the circle's
hungry are
flat.
you?
So for a sphere, you're going to have to divide it up twice as much, aren't you? It's not science and rockets.
So if I want to turn my pizza into a sphere, I need to divide it by 24 slices? Is that what you're saying?
Holy fuck. Jesus Christ.
Maybe someone else can walk me through this, because what you're saying doesn't make sense, Jez.
No. You do need to
drunk
walk through
interpreter.
it, and you need to go back to fucking school is what you need to do.
Jeremy, maybe you can explain to me what Jazz is trying to say.
Dude, no one can explain to you what Jazz is trying to say. I didn't even hear it. I just got here, and I already know that I don't know what he's saying.
Yeah, Jeremy, did you see the thing? Did you see the video I sent you?
No, I didn't, Coach.
Well, you're an asshole, dude.
I just woke up, bro.
I sent it to you yesterday, 24 hours
Okay,
ago.
I still just woke up.
Yeah, well, anyway, dude.
That's why I didn't open it. That's why I didn't
matter,
open it. Because I didn't. No, hold on. You want to hear my excuses?
No.
Yo, I can't talk anymore, but if anyone has the flat map that Robert Simon wrapped around the ball, I'd love to see that. I'd love to see the substantiation for that positive claim.
You can't wrap a flat.
No.
You can't wrap a flat plane around a ball.
I said that maybe I didn't paste it. Well, I'll copy where he gets the data from.
No, I want to see the actual map.
Yeah, there's no actual map to show you though.
But he claims that he had one and made one.
He claims that he pieced something together and put that in a sphere, but he didn't say that he made a map and published it or anything like that. He just took those strips and carefully made it so that he could put that into a renderer, so he can put that into so he can make that into the blue marble. But the actual,
I can't talk.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
I can't talk because my woman is working, but real quick, he said he created it and he wrapped it around the ball. So if we could see that, prior to wrapping, that'd be fantastic.
So
all right.
He probably deleted that file, man. So
We have seen something from this. But the memory's that short. We went over this.
Yep.
Your percentage. Do you see what I tagged you with? Is that what you're talking about? Because I think that's who you were.
He's talking about the one Simmons used.
He said he couldn't participate anymore.
Okay.
It's rectangular.
Yeah, it would have been rectangular.
It's
I'll give you an example.
It's distorted so that everything touches. It's not segmented, like Koshos.
Yeah, it's a
I
millimeter
mean,
projection.
basically something like that. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, it's NASA shows it, and I swear to God, I showed it to percentage.
Is it like what Terry posted?
No, it's like what I posted.
Okay.
What I posted right now is loading.
Oh,
I
okay.
use this to make the Earth in the video I made. Hold on.
So you're able to wrap that into a globe. Okay.
Nate, you got any peoples in the tropics?
I do.
You got like a little butter pecan Rican down in
okay.
Puerto Rico or something?
Not in Puerto Rico. More like out in the Middle East and whatnot.
You got the
But
murder
they
mommies
wouldn't-
up in Belize?
No. Like you only mean within the like Middle America, or
Oh
you
no,
mean,
anywhere in the tropics.
the
bro.
tropics out in Asia. What?
Anywhere in the tropics. Africa, you got any
Yeah.
African peeps?
No, just Middle Eastern and Asian. But they wouldn't care about doing a
They
flat
ain't
Earth
trying to do
experiment,
nothing.
Jeremy.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, they would stop talking to me if I told them, we're trying to prove the shit. Yeah.
Jeremy, try Phuket word.
Phuket word?
World, I don't know. Yeah, he's a flat
World.
earther.
I'll lie his ass off. And also, I gotta go get coffee and shit. So, real quick, percentage. The maps are there. Like, if you want to use like the one that's all cut up, segmented, looks like wedges, that have been unpeeled from an orange or something. That's one thing. If you want to use the rectangular map that they showed, either way, if you want to stand by that and say, "Oh, see, NASA had the flat map of the Earth," and you want to say that's accurate, have at it. We can talk about that. That would be fun. Get real. What you're looking for, what you're trying to claim about, they took the real map of the Earth and then punched it around the ball. No, that's absolute bullshit. And I'd love to talk to you about that for real when you're able to, and not the way that you normally talk about things. Actually talk about it.
Still can't hear you with that corn dog in your throat.
I think I and percentage heard everything you said.
Sounded clear to me.
If percentage or Jeremy is listening, that rectangular thing I posted, I used to make the video right below it.
I can't look at the map. I can't look at the screen right now.
You never can.
I use this as like an audio thing. I used to use this as just a text thing back in the day. Before I came in here, all I would do was text.
I remember.
And now the chat trolls are ridiculous. I don't know how I put up with that for so long.
I block a bunch of people, so.
Oh yeah, I got anyone does any troll shit in the chat, I block them immediately. I think I have Twit blocked.
Yeah, I think you did. But no, I don't block everyone who trolls, just the people who troll that don't provide anything else.
Yeah. I got the day off of work. What?
All right,
I mean,
dude, well then you
it's
better
never
take
a day off. I got the
better
kids.
You better take a look at the shit that I was making for you. You're supposed to use this as a representation for what you're trying to describe to people, because you've been explaining this to certain people and they act so aloof, like they have no idea what the hell you're talking
Oh yeah.
about.
I wanted to see if you could make a PowerPoint presentation for us on this.
I'm not making a PowerPoint, man.
Why would you make a PowerPoint on what?
You don't even know how to use PowerPoint? Come on, Kosho. What kind of nerd are you?
I teach other people how to
somebody
give
else-
presentations for a living. Yes, I know how to use PowerPoint. I don't understand why you're asking somebody else to come up with one.
We need a PowerPoint
Anyhow,
presentation for this
it's
circle
almost
thing.
like you're having a conversation I'm not involved in anymore. But I'm not making, of course, not making a PowerPoint for you. If you take a look at the thing I sent you, you'd have an idea of what I was putting together, man.
Forget,
Yeah.
mate. Our show is here. You won't be able to speak to flatties today.
What?
Don't quite get that.
Who are you talking to?
I was reading out a chemo comment.
You know how pumped I am that weed is legal in New York now? You guys have no idea.
So what is it like? You can just go to a dispensary and get it and smoke it out of the
Oh,
street?
they didn't set up shop like that. I mean, they just made it legal like last week, so yeah, I'm waiting for the dispensaries. Because if you go to Massachusetts, like I live right next to Massachusetts, and the whole parking lot at the dispensary in Massachusetts is filled up with cars with New York plates on them.
Yeah,
So,
but you can't take it state from state to state though.
right.
It's a federal crime.
Yeah, they're really cracking down on that one because, like I said, every fucking car is from New York. I know mad people that go there and get it.
It's actually a Class A substance. Federally.
Not in. Oh.
Yeah. If you get caught by the FBI, by the DEA, by ICE, Border Patrol, whatever, you'll be fucked.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. The federal agents are mad because I'm flagrant.
Okay, man. Okay, fucking BIG.
Tap my cell. The point is, nothing really matters at this point except for this subsolar speed. I don't know how Dave didn't get it last night. I think he's fucking with us. He'd be fucking around a lot. Like I can hear him laughing sometimes.
Yeah, everyone can hear him laughing, man. It's actually funny when David takes people for a chase. New people or whatever. It's not funny when Face One or Sin Cleanser does. Those guys suck.
What do you think, Aaron? Face One, Aaron, and
Sin Cleanser.
yeah, no, just Aaron. What's that guy's name?
Face
From
One.
no, Aaron and Justin, the guy that sounds like Kerr from Brandon's.
Oh, James. He doesn't sound like her.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he sounds like Kerr. So we're gonna get James and Aaron versus Rumpus and Zanuck. No mods. First one to stop talking loses.
Dude, that happened in here before, man. It
But
was
it's
literally
the first one to stop talking losers. You mean you just
Yep.
filibuster one another?
It was literally
all of them, all four of them.
Yeah, it was literally George and Dr. Bob and one other dude. I forget who the other dude was. Oh, Zanuck. So it was Zanuck, Dr. Bob, and George. And it was Face One and Percentage and David one night. I was like, dude, this is a perfect storm for just no one's ever going to stop talking. Because those three guys will troll. They'll just troll anything. And those other three guys will explain anything.
Good job destroying Flat Zone yesterday, Jeremy.
I didn't destroy Flat Zone.
Oh,
I did.
You
Listen,
did.
Billy, if that was a baller, I would have done him so dirty, bro. I took it so easy.
No,
on
you didn't do
Flat
it dirty, but you still destroyed it.
No, I took it very I handled him very gently, and I just set him straight. That's all.
Set it straight, right? Destroyed it.
Set him straight. I didn't destroy him. I just put him on the right path. Put him on the right path, and now he knows. You know, it's easy to get confused on those reference frames. It wasn't easy for me at first either. You get them very confused because it sounds like your first instinct would be to think that rotating reference frame is the inertial reference frame. That's like your first thought.
What does inertial reference frame mean?
It's just a place of motion where you view other motion from.
A place of motion where you view other motion.
That's a terrible
from.
definition. Yeah, you might want to get a real definition on it.
I don't know. Yeah, because I never understand that inertial reference frame thing. I'm like, but if we're flinging and circling, and what does it feel like?
Yeah, say you're spinning on a merry-go-round or a roundabout or something.
Yeah.
You know, the little kids thing. There, you're on the non-inertial reference frame.
They're if you're watching them, or are they in their own inertial reference frame?
No,
we're still on the same planet, right?
Yeah, forget the motion of the planet. We're just talking about the spinning of the roundabout and the air all around it.
Okay.
Right, the air all around it would be the inertial reference frame, and the spinning thing is the non-inertial reference frame, the merry-go-round.
The air is the non-inertial reference frame. But
Other way around.
Merry-go-round is.
The air is the inertial reference frame.
Air is that how it's defined? Is what particular thing it is? Like,
I've never heard anyone call the inertial reference frame air before, but that's where it is. It's the air.
It doesn't sound right, if I'm honest.
Yeah, that's where it is, though.
The air is the inertial reference frame.
The air, the ground.
No, there's no need to say the air is in a reference frame.
The air, the ground.
The air, the ground.
Whatever's not spinning with the roundabout is the inertial reference frame.
Mm-hmm.
So the inertial reference frame is the
Is
one
the
that's
not the
not
roundabout.
moving. Yeah, it's not
Okay.
right, exactly. The non-inertial reference frame is the rotating or accelerating reference frame.
Is that right? Okay. So I could chuck a ball, right? I'm sure we've all tried this once on a merry-go-round, like toss a bottle of water to your dad, go, "Dad, catch," on the one go round, and then chuck it off on the next one.
Yeah.
Right. So at what
good.
point does it cross over? At what point does
as soon as it leaves your hand?
No, it doesn't.
Then it becomes
as soon
its
as it
own
leaves your
inertial
hand.
reference frame.
Listen, they're about to poison your mind, guy. What's your name?
Riding on eggshells.
Eggshells. They're about to poison your mind.
This is where Jeremy gets it wrong.
Nope.
You don't leave in that
Go ahead.
reference frame and enter another reference frame. You're always in all reference frames. Because a reference frame is simply where something's being observed from. So if you were observing the throwing the bottle,
more accurate to me. Yeah.
If you throw the bottle, across the merry-go-round, then only from the inertial reference frame outside of the rotating system, only in that reference frame do you see the true motion. I wouldn't even call it true motion, but you see the motion of the bottle going in a straight line. But from that rotating reference frame, you're going to see the bottle have a curved path. And both those are correct. They're both correct. They're just being viewed from different reference frames.
Right. Yeah. Is it it's like the sort of combined speed when you have a head-on collision where it's like, yeah, I was going at 80 kilometers down the road according to everything else, but that car was doing the same thing in my direction. So you have this increased, from the perspective of the accident, you have double the speed because you've got to add the two together. So I guess it depends what question are you asking, is like, am I being the car or am I the post?
Yeah, right.
How fast did the car hit me, or how hard did I hit the post? Sure, I can believe that. That sounds more believable than the one. The air didn't convince me. I'm sorry, whoever told me that. That didn't sound right.
Well,
that's where it is, though.
A lot of people, flat earthers mainly, they get confused purposefully.
I'm not confused.
About they're not like leaving one reference frame and being in another one. I used to be confused about the same thing because I've said it incorrectly before too. But yeah, so yeah, you don't leave one reference frame and then enter another one. It's just being viewed from. It just depends which one it's being viewed from.
But do you know how we can tell? Hold on, let me set this shit straight. Do you know how we can tell which reference frame is something is in or not?
Yeah.
By if we if we see the ball we can tell if we're in the inertial or non-inertial by if we see the ball deviate or go straight. Apparently
Yeah,
deviate.
you're right, but you just expressed
That's how we
the
can tell which.
observer.
So
Yeah,
Kosho
you
saying
did.
in
You
the
did.
meantime.
Yep. You agreed
Yeah,
with him.
in the
That was a
meantime.
great example, though. That was an
Yeah,
awesome
in the meantime,
example, but I did
Kosho's saying
agree.
we can't leave it. Shut the fuck up, guy. In the meantime, Kosho's saying we can't leave it. Kosho's saying we can't leave a reference frame into another frame. However, we can be in one or the other. And I could be on the merry-go-round, watch the ball deviate, jump off the merry-go-round, and now see it go straight. So I don't know why Kosho's saying you can't leave a reference frame. You clearly can.
Yeah, that sounds wrong about you can't leave a reference frame. I imagine it's
Boom.
just asking the question again and again. But it did
Who's
sound like you
confused
came
now,
around to
Kosho?
agree. It did sound like you came around to agree with him at the end, though. Is that correct?
Yeah, he's agreeing with me without realizing he is, because it's
Yeah.
not you're explaining what you're explaining, Jeremy, from the context of two different, totally different things. One, we'll call one thing the object, and one thing the observer. Okay.
Okay, the object can leave the reference frame too.
No, the observer is the person jumping off the rotating thing and viewing it again or whatever. The observer is the one viewing what's happening. Okay. The object is the thing that you're describing the path or the motion of or whatever. So you're right. The observer can change reference frames because you're actually just describing different reference frames at that point.
Ooh, you're walking a thin line with Zanuck, bro. You better check with Zanuck before you start talking like this.
This is what everybody understands. This is what reference frames are describing. They're describing observations made from these reference frames. So the object, though, is not going to change reference frames. Only your observation of it is changing reference frames. If that makes sense. It's the observer that can change reference frames, not an object.
The observer and the object can both leave the reference. As soon as it becomes detached, as soon as the object becomes detached from the non-inertial reference frame, you'll know it because it's now entered the inertial reference frame, and you'll see. That's how you'll be able to see the deviation.
No, it will become inertial.
You don't see the deviation.
It will become inertial. Don't leave the reference frame.
Yeah, it'll be in the
it
inertial
will become inertial
by entering the inertial reference
Not
frame.
entering
No
anything.
shit. It's entering the
Can I
inertial
just-
reference frame.
By disconnecting from the Earth.
Connecting from the Earth.
The reference.
Keep it on the merry-go-round.
reference is
Keep it
not
on the
the
merry-go-round.
It's not the Earth.
Chaiki, you shouldn't even be talking right now. Do you have a response to what I said? Do you have a response to what I said, Kocho?
Yeah, Jeremy. Like I said, if you're imagining a merry-go-round, you're imagining the water that he was talking about throwing to his dad or a ball. There's a person on the merry-go-round, and there's another observer off the merry-go-round. One of them is going to appear to see the same bottle, go in a straight path, and one of them is going to appear to see the bottle go in a curved path. Okay, from both of their observations, they're making observations of the same bottle in two different reference frames. The bottle exists in both reference frames. Otherwise, they wouldn't both be witnessing it.
You're not addressing what I said.
No, that's what I'm saying. But you saying, does it leave one reference frame and go to another one? It doesn't make sense. The bottle exists in infinite reference frames. It just depends on who's viewing it, how it's being viewed. It doesn't change reference frames. Only the observer can change reference frames.
Okay, unlike the bullshit you have, I actually have a demarcation point for when we know it's left the non-inertial reference frame. You know how you know?
So
we can see it goes. The person in the inertial reference frame can see it go straight instead of rotating. So that's how we know that it's left the non-inertial reference frame and enter the inertial reference frame, because the person from the inertial reference frame will see the ball start to go straight.
That's what Chaiki was trying to interject with. He's saying that those aren't frames. Those aren't reference frames you're talking about now. Those are No, those are
the reference. These are the reference frames. What?
No, those aren't reference. Reference frames are specifically talking about how it's being observed. So the fact that it's not inertial anymore, or the fact that it's the fact that it is now not a part of the rotating system, and is now in, going on a straight line or whatever. This is not the same thing as reference frames. It's not reference frame dependent or anything. That's just.
What are you talking about? It can't go in a straight line if it's attached to the spinning reference frame because it's spinning.
Yeah,
going
of
in
course,
a.
but reference frames are specifically talking about how they're being viewed.
You guys are bugging. We stop saying reference frames or Xanax gonna fucking appear like Beetlejuice. All right.
You brought it up, man.
Yeah, I'm not convinced. I'd love to hear a physicist talk about it, but I feel like we are all just taking stabs in the dark.
I posted a good video from.
No, I know what I'm talking about.
I
Unlike
posted a
these guys.
video that Jeremy hasn't watched yet. It's called Frames of Reference, and they go over in a very, very good detail.
What's the percentage? What's the percentage you would say you guys disagree with one another on this issue about reference frames?
I think that Jeremy doesn't understand that he's actually agreeing. Like you said, he's agreeing, but he thinks he's disagreeing. But he's saying basically the same thing. I think he's just mixing up reference frames and, the actual object itself, whether it's rotating now or it's not rotating. But those aren't exactly reference frames at that point.
Right. And how much do you disagree, Jeremy? Where do you stand on where you understand it, how much he understands it, understands your position? How well do you reckon you could steel man one another?
You might be doing something with his family.
Right.
Oh, I was on mute. As far as leaving the reference frame, the observer can leave the reference frame and the object can leave the reference frame. And there's definitely distinct points where we can tell that it has indeed left the reference frame, either one. So,
Tell me, how do you leave the reference frame?
How do you, the observer?
Anything. How do you leave reference frame?
Okay, let's say you're an observer. Well, you know how to tell if you're on the reference frame, right? If you're on the
No, I choose reference frame. I don't tell if I'm on reference frame. I choose one.
You don't know how to tell if you're in the inertial or non-inertial reference frame?
No, instead, just so it's not confusing, don't say you or a person, just say an object. Like, how do you make a ball leave a reference frame?
Okay, do you know how to tell if the ball's in the inertial or non-inertial reference frame after we throw it? Or before we throw it and to after we throw it?
The reference frame is a coordinate system which I measure in. I do measurements. I can't leave it.
So depending on which measurements we do, that will determine which reference frame it's in.
No.
If it's going on a linear path, it'll be in the inertial reference frame. If it's going on a curved path, it'll be in the non-inertial reference frame.
If it's yes. So if you choose inertial reference frame, it will be inertial, and if you choose a non-inertial reference frame,
right? So I can make this leave frames at will then.
You choose them.
Okay, there you go.
You can choose anything you want at any time.
We're talking about where you view it from.
Doesn't take it out from another coordinate system.
In the context of the ball, Jeremy, when you throw it off of the merry-go-round, what reference frame is it in?
When you throw it off, when you throw it off the merry-go-round,
yeah,
it's just left the non-inertial reference frame and entered the inertial reference frame.
So it just switched reference frames. Now, how come when you view that ball, what person on the rotating frame, the person viewing it sees it going a curved path, and the person in the inertial reference frame sees it going in a straight path? So it's obviously not just in one reference frame. If they're seeing it through two different things, depending on their reference frames, it still exists in both reference frames.
Yeah, but before it entered, it wasn't going straight for anyone.
Right. Why are we talking about the ball? What does the ball have to do with the reference frames?
This is my point.
I thought reference frames were about the observer, where you're viewing whatever from.
Yeah, I tried telling them you could leave a reference frame. They're like, no. They said no. It's about the ball and can't leave the reference frame or something.
No, I'm saying the ball always exists in all the reference frames. It's the observer that when you're talking about different reference frame, it's the observer. That,
so when the observer changes reference,
Can I ask a different question just to change the thing because it's
I cut Kosho off for you to interrupt.
For a while.
Yes, of course you can.
Who do you think, both of you, who do you think would know the most about this? If I were to go, geez, I believe that person, who do you reckon it would be?
Kosho might be able to get into the more. Kosho might be able to get into the more intricate nerd math shit of this.
No, I mean on the planet. If I could just like call somebody up right now who could settle this, what's this inertial reference frame stuff? The question's to both of you. Who do you think would know the absolute most about it? Like,
I'd call Bob Nodell.
Bob Nodell. Did you just say Bob Nodell?
Yes, he did.
I did. I'll say it again. I'll say it loud. I'll say it proud, Jazza. I'd call Bob Nodell.
Bob Nodell, who used a ring laser gyro to show that the.
It's distracting, Jazza.
Hang on.
We've got an important question on the table here for Jeremy.
Let's get this out.
All right, Jeremy. Jeremy, who you gonna call?
Bob Nodell. No, hang on.
Yeah, please stop.
You just said Bob Nodell made a special experiment. He didn't do it.
Who you gonna call, Jeremy?
I don't even know who you call. This came from years of learning, and this came from years of learning knowledge. You know, I don't know who would possess this but me.
I would call these two guys in the black and white video that I posted again.
What do we think about the Bob Nodell? For the flirfs here, what do you think about Bob Nodell's current thing about luminiferous ether?
We're trying to figure out reference frames.
Well,
You're all over
the gyro leave the reference frame.
Does the gyro leave the reference frame? I don't know. I
Did
guess
it?
Not. That's the whole point.
Did the gyro? Is that what caused the minor aberrations?
Minor aberrations.
Is it because it left the reference frame, Jeremy?
Yeah, you could have some sort of reference frame issues going on there. That's a good one, Curved. I didn't think of that.
There appear to be perturbations in the field.
Perturbations in the field, in the reference frame field.
Or maybe it was perverts masturbating in the field. I'm not sure. Either way, Jeremy, who you gonna call?
That was good.
To sort this reference frame thing out, I mean, I don't even know who to call.
Come on, Jeremy, call Ghostbusters. I mean, Glowbusters. Nope, Ghostbusters.
Huey?
Bob Nodell.
How about Huey?
Oh, that's why you said Bob Nodell.
Bob Nodell used a laser ring gyro that was placed on the ground and said that it was measuring the rotation of the stars. The fucking thing's placed on the ground at 15 degrees an hour. It's not science and rockets, for fuck's sake. It's not science and rockets. It's not science and rockets. Holy flying fuck train.
Hey,
and then he had to come up with this weird...
if he wants to, and call Bob Nodell. Stop fucking judging me.
No. It's not Bob Nodell. He come out. He said it wasn't him that done the experiment, but you were included in the experiment, dick fuck, and you portrayed the results. It doesn't matter. Whoever was involved in the experiment, you portrayed the results.
Jazza, you've left the reference frame.
It does feel like
he was one with the.
That was funny. That was good. That was good. That was solid. Laugh. I like that. Oh, great! The drunkard has returned.
From my frame of reference, are all going around in circles.
It does seem that way sometimes. I can just log in at any time and it's like the inertial reference frame and the non-inertial reference frame, and I'm always like, I'm hearing two people that don't sound like they know a lot about this. Except when you get people like fucking rocket scientist, or like there's quite a few people where when they start talking, I'm like, oh wow, you do know a lot.
Might be easier to just use point of view instead of reference frame. And just change the words around a little bit, and it might be easier to understand.
But it's interesting, isn't it, that these words that flat earthers use, when you ask them to define them, they cannot answer that. That's important, right? When they say you can't have gas pressure without a container, and you say define container, and they go, no, I refuse to. Or indeed in this, where it's like, well, it's entered the non-inertial. Can you define inertial reference frame? It's air. No, that's not a good answer. Sorry. It's you need you need to be able to answer some questions.
Eggshells, who are you talking to?
Huh?
Who are you talking
into the
to?
ether, mate? Talking into the ether.
To everybody that's listening.
Oh, you're just talking to the room in general, yeah. Sorry, you wanted to speak to Jeremy, no? No, my mistake.
Who's Jeremy?
Jeremy's gone for the moment now. Unfortunately.
Yeah, Jeremy was here a while back.
I'm there. What's up?
Oh, Jeremy's back. There you go. Eggshells. Take it away.
Sure.
What? Oh, were you talking to me that whole time?
Yeah, Jeremy.
No.
But like,
to you. A superstar around these parts. They want to talk to you.
I was listening, but he was just like droning on. I almost fell asleep.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right.
Kosho, they want to talk to you. The other ballers want to talk to Jeremy. Do you mind letting the ballers talk to Jeremy? Because it seems for the last 10, 15, 20 minutes, Kosho, all you've done is speak to Jeremy and not allow the other ballers to speak to Jeremy.
That's because you're utterly confused. Let me ask, Pure, is that what you experienced?
Why are you doing that, Kosho?
I didn't use that whatsoever.
Kosho, why are you not allowing the other ball earthers to speak to Jeremy?
Like Curved and this other guy, what's his name? And riding on the eggshells. I didn't let them speak with Jeremy just now?
Yeah, they don't want to talk to you. They want to speak and get a response from Jeremy. They don't want to hear your response that you think Jeremy might say, what he might think, what you think he's doing.
Not all about Jeremy.
Jeremy, can I ask you some questions?
I know Chemo keeps saying.
Yeah, they want to speak to Jeremy, Kosho, not you. I know you're desperate to have a conversation and derail it in some kind of way.
Let's speak about the subject. Everyone.
Yeah, everyone can speak to Jeremy. Jeremy's a superstar.
We don't want to sit here and bicker with a nuisance.
Well, we're going to have to bicker because Jeremy's trying to get his points across, and Kosho is not allowing Curve
is going to continue to inject himself
to Jeremy
and try to take control of everything because he's a little power-hungry control
Well,
freak.
we've got to take some form of control because there are many people here, not just Kosho. You understand that, Curved?
You need
Do you
to
understand
learn
that,
to
Curve? There
engage
is
in
not just
conversation.
Kosho here. Is that
Jeremy,
clear for you?
Can I just interject because this is?
Well, of course you can, Roddenexo. Now, if this was Kosho, I would interrupt you, say stop talking, mute you while I can finish my point. But the point is, so you feel you can talk now because Kosho's not talking. So you feel because Kosho's not talking, you can never talk me. You feel, I can never talk to Flat Earther.
I was going to interrupt. I get you're still going, but I will
Right,
too.
so the point is you guys want to talk. I'm just making it clear. I'm making the path clear for you, Rod and Eggshells. This is for you. It's not for me.
We're talking about
what would you like to talk about?
This is for me, so don't attack me, Rod and Eggshells. Otherwise you'll be in the background again while Kosho talks to Jeremy.
You need to control everything.
Just don't take the bait. He just jumps in.
We were talking about reference frames and leaving them and not leaving them and what leaves it.
Is that the most compelling thing for you, though, Jeremy? What would you say, Jeremy, is your strongest belief? What would you say is your strongest belief about this?
You still here, Jeremy?
Strongest belief? Yeah. About why the Earth is flat?
Yeah. Like that is the most meaningful
probably
to
the
you.
Water.
The water, okay.
I mean, the water
tell-
being
tell
fine.
me- tell me
To
about
be
the
honest,
water.
though, it's a lot of little things that built up over the years. I feel like that led me to this path. You know, the path led me to this point.
But you're in a fork in the road at the moment, Jeremy.
I'm not in no fork.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna see what the data shows, and that's it. And we'll work from there.
Are you in a position to see that video I sent you yet? It's not like a long video. It's like a 10-second clip.
Kosho, the ballers want to talk to Jeremy. What's the problem? What's your issue? What's your malfunction?
Jesus Christ, no.
It's like you've got a malfunction. It's like you hear people talking, you think, well, I've got to jump in there and stop that conversation.
Okay.
Mute Chemo.
Chemo, that's you doing that right now, man.
No, because Rodden Eggshells was tried 3 times. I was laughing at him, calling him a punk, because every time he tried to speak, you, Kosho, stopped him from speaking and having a back and forth with Jeremy. Now, Jeremy's gone. Jeremy's not getting involved in the same depth that he was with you, because you've taken all of Jeremy's energy away. So how about you let other ball earthers speak to Jeremy?
If you don't stop, Chemo, I'm just going to kick you from the room.
Yeah, and I'll kick you from the room as well. Say that again, and I'll kick you from the room.
I'm in the middle of asking Jeremy a question.
Right, Kosho, let the people speak. They don't want to speak to you.
I agree. Let the people speak, man.
Kosho, I didn't watch that video. I didn't watch that video yet, Kosho.
Yeah, no, it's a 10-second clip. It's just a preview of the thing I'm piecing together. So
yeah,
you'll see it.
Kosho, it's not interesting.
It's
not going to prove anything. It's not interesting.
If you just check out that video, Jeremy, you can see.
Yeah, he's not going to check it out because it's not interesting. It's not going to prove anything. It's just your nonsense. Okay? Now we have globe earthers here who want to question Jeremy about his experiment, what it will prove, when he's going to do it.
It's just a measurement. It's just a measurement.
There you go. The Rodden Eggshells, do you understand that if Jeremy's correct, he will be able to prove that it's either a flat Earth or a globe Earth. Do you understand the principle?
I don't know about all that.
Do you accept this?
The first go around will show us something, but then we might have to do more tests because.
Well, we might have to do more tests. What are you testing?
Measurements. More measurements.
What are you testing if you don't know?
Measurements. More measurements.
Sounds like what you're saying is if I get a number that shows me curvature or something, then I might keep measuring until I don't get that anymore. That's what that sounded like to me, a little bit.
May I suggest improvement to your method, Jeremy? All you need to do is take the time and date of the subsolar points. If they match timeanddate.com, we can rely on that.
No, we have to verify.
Why? We verify that they match. That's all.
Yeah, we're going to verify if they match or not, yeah.
Yeah. And if you don't have enough people, we only need the time and date as the subsolar point occur. If it matches what we see in timeanddate.com, we can take the data from there.
So the question is, Rodden Eggshells, will you accept Jeremy's experiment that the CERN doesn't do what they tell us it does?
It's just a measurement, Chemo. Just
so if you get the measurements that support our side, will Rodden Eggshells agree with it? That's what you want to know, right? Otherwise, it's pointless you even doing it.
I mean, I don't think anyone's going to agree, honestly. The flat earthers won't, or the globers won't.
I agree. I agree.
Well, look, Jeremy, Chaiki will agree. Eggshells, what say you? Do you agree, disagree?
I won't agree because right now I know that time and date's been verified.
Okay, so Moik won't agree. So, Jeremy, is it worth
something wrong?
Is it worth it if Moik is not going to hold his hands up and say, "Yep, you've done it right. This is how it's done, and I agree with your results"?
And you'd have to invalidate time and date, which I mean, you take a lot of data to prove that.
Jeremy,
they just have a lot of faith in their model, and time and dates based directly off the model. They don't actually have any firsthand. This is like you asking for Cavendish in a vacuum.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm asking for, they don't have it. All they have is the paper that says that this is what it is.
Okay. Jeremy, you're going to actually do it in the practical world.
Yeah, we need to actually do something like what you want to do with Cavendish.
Jeremy, I have the fact that time and date gives accurate results that nobody on Earth contests. Nobody on Earth contests. It gives accurate results everywhere. You can use it as a source of information. Now, you can test it, but that's like testing to see whether water falls down.
All right. Well, we'll see.
There's not we'll see. Just in fact, you don't have to do it on a specific test. Just test the accuracy of time and date. Call a bunch of people.
That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna check the accuracy and see if this site's right or not.
It does not need to be you going out and doing a test every 50 miles. You go and check anywhere on Earth, and anybody who lives anywhere on Earth, and have them validate.
I wouldn't listen to Moya, Jeremy. What does Eggshell say?
Yeah, we're not.
Don't listen to Moya. Moya's going to give you complications anyway.
Shut the fuck up, you cunt.
Well, Eggshell was trying to ask him questions.
Shut the fuck up.
Moyak, you're asking me to just take their word for it, basically.
No, you can ask them, validate. Go ahead and call people up around the world.
That's what we're going to do. We're going to validate this. Why are you in an uproar over this?
Sir. You call up a bunch of people around, you validate the tool. You say, what time is it in your country? You say, where is the sun? What angle is the sun? Does that match time and date? Yes, it does. Okay, time and date is an accurate source.
That's
not what you do. The first thing we need to do is see how long. The first thing we need to do is see how to check for the subsolar point, because the thing with the shadows, like we need to see how long we get no shadow for. If it's an hour, that doesn't do us much good.
I told
Pocho
you.
thinks it's 4 minutes. Yeah,
that would still be fine, Jeremy.
No.
The point's in the middle. The point's in the middle.
Nah, I don't know about it, because now we're talking about there's multiple subsolar points at one. I don't know. That's a little crazy.
No. You need to understand what a point is, dude.
Yeah, but I could be there and then 10 feet to the left and then 20 feet to the left of that and then still be in the subsolar point. So which one is it?
I quantified it for you with the degrees that it moves. If it moves,
it's the subsolar point. It's the center of the sun over the Earth. It's not the shadowless point.
Do you have an accurate way for us to tell when this is, other than the sticks and shadows thing? Doesn't sound very accurate.
The most accurate.
Is there another way to tell?
The most accurate way would be to take a telescope with a solar filter and center it on the sun. I would think.
With graduated crosshairs.
Right.
Yeah. Regardless of that, Jeremy, the speed at which it moves.
We ain't got all that, bro. We ain't got 100 people with graduated crosshairs on telescopes.
That's why I'm giving you this
pipe.
Kosher, IB Hunter's trying to speak to Jeremy. How many times? Everybody wants to speak to Jeremy.
Kimo, shut up and let him speak, Kimo.
We're having a fine conversation.
IB, I didn't even hear what you said. What were you saying to Jeremy?
Well, one cheap, easy way is while the sun's shining through the center of a small diameter pipe. It'll be fairly quick. It's going to end up being you could tell whenever it gets to a full circle, and then whenever it starts leaving a full circle. When it's a full circle, it's directly overhead. But I do have a suggestion for increasing the number of people or a number of observation points. You could do a search for along the entire tropics. There are sundials, public sundials that they make huge parks out of, and a lot of them have.
Yes, they got one in Australia.
They have. There's one in Ecuador, and they're all over the place. And they have webcams at those parks. You could actually see the points and get a reference at that point. But there's actually people there also. Sometimes they'll actually, like during the equinox, they actually do live streams from those points.
Jeremy, what do you think about that?
So they're constantly, you're telling me there's places all in the tropics now with a straight vertical object that constantly has a live cam on it?
Yeah, let me post one in the chat box. Hold on.
Jeremy, I have a question for you. How are you going to verify the distance?
What angle is the camera from, though? Because it might be hard to tell. It might be hard to hold on, Pyro. It might be hard to tell depending on the angle of the camera, like when it's in no shadow. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Like unless the camera was like vertical above the thing.
Well, some of those objects are like weird design shapes that don't make an
Jeremy's
actual.
not lagging, Pyro.
Quick,
Oh.
chemo. Jeremy. Yeah. So some of those shapes are like weird, jagged shapes that only make a perfect circle when the sun is directly above them. So you can get like you don't have to. It doesn't matter what angle the camera's pointed at that shadow, as long as you can confirm that shadow is being created by a vertical sun.
So I think Pyro asked about the distance, and Jeremy answered, and Pyro didn't get to hear that or get to respond. So Jeremy, about the distance, did you answer Pyro's question?
Oh, what did you say?
Exactly. That's the point. So Pyro, you want to hit that question again?
Well,
First of all, you're probably not going to bother
Jeremy
now.
just
Probably not
question.
Probably not going
because
to
he
bother
was
now. It's way too late now. It's probably gone past the point.
Jeremy was trying to look at the other thing. Jeremy didn't want to answer the question. Don't give me this exactly shit. Chemo, if you were a goddamn traffic cop in an intersection directing traffic like this, you get your ass fucking run over.
Look, so IB's got this image, Jeremy. What do you make of this?
Hold on.
Chemo's been an absolute terror in here this morning.
Why?
Because he's a cunt.
Interesting.
He's an attention whore-seeking
It's not
cunt.
about me. It's about Jeremy right now.
It's all about you, Chemo.
All about Jeremy.
You keep inserting yourself.
Chemo?
So would that be easy? Would that object? I feel like that object would be easy to tell unless the shadow was being cast on the other side of the camera.
Well,
that
particular one, if you notice, there's doors at the bottom of the tube there, and people could actually go in and watch the sun whenever it's directly overhead. Put a dot right in the center of the floor.
Yeah, right.
But there's a number of
live
these.
Stream that dot.
I would have to find the camera. I know there's a live stream during the equinox, but
That's
I don't know.
We need an equator measurement.
Right.
We definitely want an equator measurement.
Well,
Some
so
people
I
say
like
just
your
do the
idea,
south.
yeah.
Some people say just do the north. It's like, we need to get all three of them just to make sure. 'Cause this
Right.
is
That
serious shit
particular
right
one's
here.
that particular one's on the equator, but they have other ones along the tropics that do the subsolar point, and they have the large parks of a giant sundial like that. And you may be able to search around and find some more. I know there's more. I just haven't searched for it recently.
Yeah, that'd be nice to up our, because I only got like 4 or 5 latitudes so far. So if I had any way to up my
Yeah, you need to
points on the
get more
latitude.
measurements.
So, and
Yeah,
can I
man.
understand, Jeremy, what are you measuring? Because my internet cut out before. I'm really sorry. What is it you're measuring with your experiment?
It's just a measurement. We're measuring the speed. Oh, this is going to last forever. I shouldn't have started off by calling it a pseudo experiment. We're just measuring the subsolar ground speed points between known land distances. That way we can see how fast the sun is traveling.
Right.
According to the ground speed.
Well, yeah.
So here's my. How are you going to verify the distance between the two observers?
What is a failure? Because I think a failure would be the same point on Earth getting 15 degrees an hour.
All right, this is a good example of where we need one question answered before
It's
the
not
next
degrees.
one's asked.
Our measurement will be in miles per hour.
Right.
No degrees. Just miles per hour. And what was the other? Yeah, what was the other question?
The height.
Pyro's question.
The height.
Pyro's
The height of
question.
what? The height of what?
Pyro's question.
Yes, Pyro's
Say it
question
again.
was the height. You want to ask again, Pyro?
Yeah.
Shut
How
up.
are you gonna
Say it again.
He didn't
How you
have
gonna validate-
fucking height.
How are you going to validate the distance between the observers?
Fucking
I
cunt,
mean,
chemo.
those will be like, known land distances on roads people can drive with their odometers and see.
Height, distance, length, whatever. Measurements.
Where is it you think those maps fall apart
Well,
out of interest? Like, I've ridden across a lot of India. At what stage do the maps stop taking into account?
I don't know. This doesn't even matter. The map doesn't even matter with this.
Yeah, fair enough.
How do people
Fair
know
enough.
what day to
You
go
could
to
put
this
the land
park?
anywhere. It's all about where you put these you just put circles down on a piece of paper. And you can
How
put
do
the land
people-
anywhere.
How do people
Oh, yeah.
know what day to go to this park to see the light coming in the end of that tube?
Yeah, good question.
I mean, it's just a random number. Nobody knows it. I mean, kind of weird. And they know what date
Right.
and time to go there, right?
Most early religions were telling stories that tracked the changes of the seasons, right? Because we had Mars, we knew that there were going to be these colorful things up in the sky, and so we told stories about how they came and they brought the springtime, or after them comes the big freeze or something like that. Like we've looked up to the heavens since time immemorial, right? Or most populations of people have. Wouldn't you agree?
Moyak
We
asked a
know
pretty
what's going on.
simple question, leading
Like,
question
isn't-
to lead to a simple answer. They
Isn't
know based upon
Christmas and
the
the
globe
solstice?
model and the predictions that are made from it. Example, time and date. That's how you know
Well, I mean,
when
the
and
equator.
where this is going to be. Right,
Sure,
Moyak?
the
Is that what you're
equator.
getting at?
I'm thinking
The-
so. I mean,
the-
I'm just
the one on
curious
the
if people just
equator,
there
but-
all year waiting for it to happen, like, and they're surprised when it happens.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need a year-long song and dance about Mars and ancient history and all that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's
but I'm
just a
saying
quick little
that-
thing. Boom. The model.
these
That's
are
how
the
we
people-
know. The model. It's accurate. The model's accurate. That's the whole point of all this shit.
You're pissing Curve off.
Yeah,
Jeremy, you got an answer for me? How do they know?
barely had any coffee.
Yeah, Jeremy, you got an answer
I got
for
a
me? How do
plate.
they know what day to go there and what time to be there?
I mean, on the equator, sure, but I mean, where else are they doing this? These subsolar points.
Apparently, they're doing them on the tropics also.
Yeah, they got them all over the place.
Yeah, that's
I mean, the
What are they
measurements
called?
have been done, but if he needs to have the time to do it himself, I don't have a problem
Well-
with that. That's it. That's his own thing. But the measurements have been done a lot. I mean, I work for a survey company. We've done the measure.
Jeremy, just explain
But
what it will prove.
I respect the fact that he wants to do it.
Jeremy, what will it prove or disprove? Be clear on that.
It's gonna disprove. All right. This will. You all right, bud? You're okay.
What
This
are
will
those sundial
disprove.
parks called?
Hold on. This will either disprove the globe model completely.
How?
Or this will disprove the notion that the sun's circling over a flat plane, making concentric circles.
No. How will it disprove the globe?
They have to have their model. They have to get the sun has to go slower at the tropic, then get faster at the equator, then get slower again at the next tropic.
And you predict.
Slower and faster in what way?
What's your
What'd you say?
prediction, Jeremy?
Oh, I don't know, Chemo. We're just gonna see what happens.
Oh, okay.
This is just
Slower
a
and
measurement. Like if you go to measure a 2x4, like I never make a prediction before I measure a 2x4. You know what I mean? I just get the tape measure out, go measure it, and see what it is.
Actually, you do. You pick up a 2x4, and you know that one's probably long enough to start with. You don't pick up the 1 foot 2x4 when you're trying to make an 8-foot span.
That's true. You can kind of judge. I can't judge this with my eyeball though, so. But yeah, you're right. I could judge it too. I would obviously not. If I needed a 7 foot 2x4, I wouldn't pick up the 1 or 2 foot one. Yeah. But this is not something that I can just look at and be like, oh yeah, that's about what it is.
So you just need a couple of ballers, couple of people, get it done.
We need a lot of. I'd like to have some flat earthers in on this. Getting the measurement.
Can't trust bowlers, that's for sure.
So, and what would disprove your model in this? What measurement would disprove the flat Earth?
It would disprove the notion that the sun's making concentric circles over a flat Earth. Unless we, honestly, listen, these people are very clever people. We're very clever, and we come up with ways to think how something might be wrong. Like even that measurement over land, they could say it's speeding up over the ocean.
Right.
Then what? You know, then what? It could still be doing the concentric circles. So we'd have to go check that after.
Okay.
Is it staying the same speed over the water too?
Well, wouldn't
Okay.
that hurt
So
navigation?
it sounds like what you're saying, if I could just summarize that, it sounds like what you're saying when we said what would this prove about the globe model, you said it would fundamentally disprove 2 tenets of the globe model. When I said what would it disprove about flat Earth, when I asked that question, it sounded like you said, well, we would need to make more measurements and that it would...
Yeah, because your models, your shit is set in stone. You guys can't have the sun getting slower and faster over the water or land or whatever.
I see. So you can
Yeah, you
keep
guys are like
checking to
set.
show
Your
that
shit
I
is
see.
chiseled in stone. Your
So
shit
you
is
can
chiseled
keep
in
doing
stone.
the
Yeah.
experiment. You can keep doing the experiment again and again because you're testing a proven model with told numbers. So sometimes you might be wrong, but that could just be error, I guess, as well. Maybe you did the experiment wrong.
No, it
came
could
up
just
with the
be
same
working in
answer.
a different way. Your shit has to be working a certain way. We don't have this very specific set way of how our shit works. So
Well, you do.
when we do something like, no, we don't.
Flat, stationary.
There's nothing in our
contained.
model. There's nothing in the flat Earth model that says the sun can't be going slower over land and faster over water.
No, you just said I've got a model. So flat, stationary, contained, correct or wrong?
No, we're just talking about the nature of reality. And there's nothing about my nature of reality that says the
Flat,
sun can't be going faster
stationary,
over the
contained.
ocean. Hold on, guy.
Does it say flat,
There's
stationary,
nothing
contained?
about.
No, let's start from where we agree on what you say. Do you agree flat, stationary, and contained?
Do you understand? Yeah, let's close that last point out, though. Do you understand what I'm saying about how the globe has a very set, specific way it's set in stone, and our model is flexible because we're not sure yet?
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
Now, what do you want to go on to?
No, I think that's fine. I just wanted to ask you, to point out to you, rather, if I may be so presumptuous, I believe you do have a model. I don't think it's complete. I think there are missing things like maps, which is quite crucial, but flat, stationary, and contained, unless you disagree with those 3 statements, is a model, right? Because we know something that if something's curved, it is finite, right? If it's spherical, it's finite, it will just grow in size. Whereas if something is flat, it is now either finite or infinite. And if it is finite, it's got an edge. So you've got to have a model, you've got to have a container, you do have a model. That's when you say that, it's just not true. That you don't have a complete model, yeah, we agree. We say the same thing.
All right.
But
Well,
you
the point
do
is
have a model.
our model's very flexible, and it's not set in stone like yours is. That's the point.
It's very flexible. So describe to me.
Some people don't even.
Flexibility.
Some flat earthers don't even have the same model. Some flat earthers don't believe in a dome. There's a lot about the nature of our reality that's yet to discover.
Could I play back to you some of what it sounds like you might be saying? Because our model isn't fixed, we can keep testing your model to test whether it works. Because through those repeated tests, even if it doesn't show up with the right results in this one, we could ask it in a different way. Is that right?
No, because our model is not fixed. Because our model is not fixed, it's very flexible, and we'll need a lot of testing more than. See, we only have to test the land speeds for the globe Earth one, because your shit is set in stone. However, our shit has no definitive set way, and we would have to do more testing. We would have to do more testing.
I got you.
More measuring.
So
I wish
if you get the result, hey, it's not a spinning ball Earth of the dimensions and speed given, you win. But if you lose, you just get to do it again. You just get to do it.
Do you understand why?
There's no way it disproves your model. Is that correct?
Do you understand
There's
why
no way this disproves your model? Is that correct?
Do you understand why we would need to do more testing for us?
Yeah, I understand. Because the ball model is set, so you can keep testing all of the different things that it is set with. Yes, absolutely understand that. In fact, I think that shows the weakness of your argument.
Oh, okay.
Because what you're saying is
we're testing the nature of reality, and that's weak.
Yeah, these people have an entire model. Repeatedly, I test it. When I get it wrong, I go, it doesn't count this time. And I go and I try to replicate their science, and I do it inexpertly. And I only have 4 people, and it's not even real science. it could fundamentally disprove their entire model. It doesn't even take into account maybe I could have fucked up the experiment, but it will not count at all to disproving your case, which means you're not really testing, are you? If you're not testing,
we're not testing. This is a measurement. We're not testing, guy.
Yeah,
monologue,
but it would
guy.
disprove the ball Earth. Didn't you say that? Didn't you say
measurement.
it would disprove the ball Earth?
Yeah, you're testing your model.
We're not testing. We're just taking a measurement.
That's what this is. This is a test. This measurement is a test of your model. Does your model comport with this?
Yeah.
Or does our model comport with this? It's a test.
Right. But if one wins, that's a win. If the other one wins, that we do more testing. That's what you said.
We're just doing it. We're just doing a measurement. I'm not using the word test because then people are going to think it's a
measure
science.
Measure.
They're going to want a fucking hypothesis and natural observed phenomena. I'm not doing
Bob
just
Nodell
a
gets
measurement.
15 degrees an hour.
Oh my god, dude, are you going to talk all over me all
again.
day and monologue all day, eggshell guy?
You gotta not talk over him that much.
Do you agree with me now that it's a test? I mean, basically, you are testing the models.
No.
Why not? Okay, so what are you doing? You're just measuring and not going to take.
I'm measuring the ground speed. I'm measuring the subsolar point. Ground
for
speed.
what effect? To what avail?
To see the speed of it. That's why you measure
see
things.
The speed of it, and what are you going to do with that information?
We're going to take the data and go over it.
Okay, you're going to go over it. You're going to do what with it?
Mike, what's the point of winning this argument? For him,
I'm trying to get a win with him someday.
I know, but it's obvious that he's doing it. That this is a test to see if.
See, Moyak, you've got no chance, no opportunity
Chemo
to
cut it
make
out.
a point.
Chemo cut it
well,
out.
Moyak was in the middle of a point. To Moyak, it's very important. His point.
Cut it out, Chemo.
To Moyak, his point was very important, and he wants to finish it. But to you, his point is not that important to you, and you decided Moyak. No.
I tell him when I think he's over talking me.
Yeah, if Mike had said something, I would have said something to him. I mean, I would have responded to him.
Yeah, but he was making a point that everyone was listening to, including me.
Cut it out, Chemo.
He was making a point.
Cut it out, Chemo.
I don't need you.
I know you don't need me, but what we do need is people to be able to make their points.
Chemo, please shut that.
You're not that special, Moyak, but you're still a person who wanted to make a point.
Yeah, stop helping me.
If you guys want to listen, if you guys want to call it a test and come up with a hypothesis and shit, I don't give a fuck. I'm just making a measurement.
No.
So do whatever you want.
That's what I'm trying to express before Chemo jumped in. And that's obviously a test of whichever model. It's a test of whichever model it is, but he doesn't want to call it a test or an experiment because of the, how taboo that word is with flat earthers and with people. People are going to ask him for the, scientific method and all that kind of stuff. It's easy enough to just call it an observation.
Right. The only reason I want to run it home is because the whole concept that a test has to be quote unquote scientific is irrelevant. You can do tests.
A hypothesis
and you
test.
have to do tests.
No, a test.
A hypothesis test does have to be.
It's got to be falsifiable.
Does have to be. Shut up, new guy. A hypothesis test does have to be scientific. Obviously, it's a hypothesis test. You're in the middle of the scientific experiment, a method there.
You're doing a scientific measurement.
No, you just do. There's no special measurement. You're just doing a measurement.
A scientific measurement is one where you account for things and you record them.
So anytime somebody records a measurement, it's a scientific measurement?
You're recording time. You're recording the actual position of the sun. So, yeah, it becomes an experiment at that point. It's not an experiment, a scientific measurement.
So if I measure how long my dick is and I write it down, note the time, that's scientific, you think?
Okay, you measure that over time and you see that it's shrinking because of your
ego.
No, stop making shit up, Moyak.
No, it's
just
true.
a measurement.
You're making
just a measurement.
Are you saying that nobody's done a statistical scientific analysis on the average size of penises for biology? Because if you think that, you're patently wrong.
All right. I'm just saying this is a measurement. You guys can quibble over it all day. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, you're making a measurement. I don't think there's any more needs to be said on that. You have reasons for making that measurement, which you deny have anything to do with science.
No, well,
and I think
that has to do with the nature of It does have to do with the nature of our reality. I'll say that.
So, and that's
Obviously.
the definition of science, really, isn't it? The better understanding of our reality.
I think falsifiability is key to science. That's what I think is the most important thing, not the measurement.
You're wrong.
It's is your hypothesis falsifiable? I believe if you Google falsifiability, the first thing that'll come up is it is a key tenet of scientific method.
Do you know what happens when you do after you're done doing a scientific experiment? Not only did you falsify one thing, you've proven the opposite, the antithesis of that.
You've given the most probable cause.
If you don't validate, confirmed, proven. I mean, you can go to a thesaurus and check the words.
Yeah, I
but
just
you've
put
essentially proven it.
I just put a list of other words that mean test. So you're going to do an experiment or a check, an examination, assessment.
I would argue all of these. All of these.
Hold on.
Dude,
Let
you
me
gotta
address.
stop
Let me
talking
address what that guy said. Eggshell, shut up. When we're talking experiment, science, and an experiment, it's a very specific thing. You need an independent variable, a dependent variable, a control variable. So just doing a measurement or whatever said, it's not the same thing.
What's the definition of science?
I can test your memory, or I can test, like, there's different ways to use that word test.
Jeremy, what's the definition of science again? Isn't it just trying to understand the natural world?
Studying the
Learn about
natural and physical world through observation and experiment. And don't forget that "and" part. It's crucial.
And what is the
and
goal
experiment?
is to reach a greater understanding of the natural world, right?
Well, you want to shorten it up, take the experiment part out, of course. If you're going to try to do some pseudoscience bullshit.
Pseudoscience you're doing, okay.
Well, like I said, I don't give a fuck who calls this what. We're just taking measurements to find more about the nature of our reality.
Oh, science.
Whatever you want to call it, it's fine. I don't care.
Jeremy, do you have any replacement for the sun circling the North Pole?
We got the Pac-Man map. We got the sun skipping over, going faster over the ocean.
Well,
we got,
we got two things. I suggest that at the same time that your guys doing your subsolar point, they also measure the rate of the change in angle of the sun if it ever changes, skips over the day.
I got two good things so far. I got the Pac-Man map, and I got the sun's moving faster over the ocean.
I'm not familiar with the Pac-Man map.
It's one where the sun. You never played Pac-Man?
Well, I have.
You know how if you move the Pac-Man down a tube and he pops up from the left, you're on the left side of the screen. You go through the tube and you pop up on the right side.
Sure.
That's think of the sun as Pac-Man.
Yeah, so you come to one side of the rectangular map that they show in the schools, and have the sun teleport to the other side of the Earth.
Sure, but still shine on the other side that it popped from.
Isn't that Mario Brothers as well?
It's every video game. But in Pac-Man is one where you can leave the screen on the right side and come back on the same left side of the screen.
Yeah, and then you should look to the other side to see Pac-Man, not at the same side.
Oh, but you're talking about the Mario Brothers where you're in those tunnels and you're playing like a 2-player game. Because that does happen in that game.
None of it's going to make sense.
Yeah, I mean, basically what you have is a time warp there that allows you to, or teleportation device that allows light and everything to go through it. So it appears seamless.
Well, God did say 4 corners.
Or cylindrical Earth. Could be cylindrical.
It would be like a cylinder.
Somebody needs attention.
Yeah, the flat Earth needs lots of attention, lots of awareness. Try to remember that, Curve. You've been lied to about the shape of the Earth, and now you're squabbling over nonsense.
Baby Chemo's upset.
Is he ever tired of lying?
It
Need
needs
a
the
nappy
spotlight.
change.
It needs the
You
hot
need a
seat.
nappy
Pyro,
change, baby Chemo.
Hey, Chemo.
Pyro, your girl swallowed more balls than Pac-Man and Hungry Hippo.
Hey, Chemo, do you have any friends that could help Jeremy out with his test? Like, couldn't you start help promoting this with anybody you know who's on the equator and the tropics?
I'm not sure the Flat Earth Brotherhood, Sisterhood. I mean, again, Jeremy's put out the feelers already. Been on Brandon's, been around, he's been about. I mean, I'm not sure what's the feeling, Jeremy, about towards this.
I mean, people don't like this. Honestly, there's a lot of contention in it. You know, people think this isn't going to do anything for us.
I've got the same feeling, Jeremy, but again, because you know, you're part of the. I mean, again, like, if you want to do it, kind of organize it, but it's going to cause more problems than answers.
Right. Anytime you get evidence that goes contrary to the flat Earth, it really pisses people off. You got to watch out. You get kicked out of the community.
I mean, this is definitely going to cause it.
Jeremy, not from us, from ballers. They're going to say you didn't do it right. You didn't do this. It's not. You know, all these kind of things.
No. We will welcome Jeremy to the globe.
Yeah. What kind of problems is this going to cause, Jeremy or Chemo? Give me an example of a problem that this is going to cause.
If it's not what you say it is, it's going to cause a lot of problems.
It is what we say
on your side. If it is what you say it is, it's going to cause a lot of problems on my side.
Yeah, but those aren't problems, Jeremy. Those are answers. And if it gives somebody trouble, the answers give somebody trouble, that's a them problem. So finding out what the truth
I'm not worried.
I know, but Chemo just said it's gonna cause a lot more problems, I think. Whatever problems it's causing are if they're the problems you just stated, those aren't problems. Those are the answers and solutions that you're and everybody to solve, the answers that we're all looking for.
No, because if it comes out what you guys say it is, then we're gonna have issues of, you know, could it be skipping or going faster over the ocean parts where we're not measuring it?
We'll cross that bridge.
That's what I said. Yeah.
No need. If they're already out there in the sun, they can measure the speed of the sun at the same day. See that it's not skipping at the day.
Well, the thing I think you're missing is this is going to take a year to do.
Yeah, we know.
This is going to be a big undertaking, and also there's a lot of measurements that can be taken all at the same time during the same course of the year. So, and it's going to take a lot of people.
I know.
Over a long period of time.
That's why. What's your name? Hey, hold on. What's your name? That guy.
IB Hunter.
IB. If you find any webcam, any live streams or webcams of these things being broadcast nonstop, if you find ones with like good angles and a definitive way to tell that it is 90 degrees, would you DM them to me, please?
I will give it a shot. I'm heading to work, but I'll try to do it this evening.
No rush. I mean, there's no rush at all on this. So whenever, that'd be awesome. No, thank you.
You're welcome. Just go to timeanddate.com and go to those parks and look, and you'll see.
I posted in the chat.
I can't just go on a world tour in the tropics of all these places.
You can actually.
If I could, I would be down there right now.
A lot of the museums in the tropics have sundials, so that's a good place to start. So that's probably where I'm going to start.
I posted in the chat.
Hey, Kosha.
Hold on one second, Brenda. I posted in the chat something for the people in mostly Australia, but I guess anybody in the Southern Hemisphere could fill out. It's just it's a supplement onto Jeremy's test. He doesn't agree with this method, but it will be a supplement to his data because you don't necessarily need that. Well, we'll be supplemented with your data, of course.
No, we're not. No, not superseding or supplementing anything.
What's the difference between superseded and supplementing? I'll tell you.
Superseded is what Einstein did to Newton.
Yeah, supplemented means that you have your core set of the data, and you can have whatever extra catalog of data that is included with it. And I'm telling you, whether you use it or not, this is supplemented with your data, even if you've never looked at it.
We're not looking at your data. I'm sorry.
Brenda, you were asking something?
Your data sucks. I'm sorry.
Brenda's not happy, Kosha, with your mod abuse. Right, Brenda?
Data's not even collected. Data's not even collected, so he can say it's bad data.
Kosho's data.
You just showed your cards there, Jeremy, by saying his data's bad before he's even fucking collected it.
I know it's fine. We have a disagreement about this, but it's fine. But yeah, what Kim was talking about, Brenda's mad about something. What's wrong? Brenda was asking something.
Your mod abuse.
Yeah. Fucking.
Did I abuse you, Brenda?
Yes.
When did I abuse you?
The other day.
Constantly.
What did I do to you the other day, Brenda?
Yeah, you muted me.
For no reason as well. Just
I
because.
muted you. It wasn't for no reason.
No, it wasn't. Just because you decided, I don't want to hear what you have to say, so I'm going to decide to mute you.
Well, that's what you used to do to me all the time, Timo. So I'm not sure why you're being a bit of a hypocrite on this point.
No,
You used to mute me all the time because you didn't like what I
derailing,
said.
you would derail.
The same way as you can't help yourself from over-talking me.
Yeah, because you derail.
Sounds a lot like Timo.
And you changed to a different subject. Brenda was
Oh,
talking
you don't
about
like
the
what I'm
subject.
talking about. Yeah, so you mute me.
Brenda was on topic.
So you did exactly the same
Anyway,
thing you're
Brenda's here
accusing,
now. Let Brenda
Kosho
explain
of.
the
Yeah,
situation.
me and you were having a conversation one day, Druss, and the next minute you get muted.
Where's that,
Exactly,
innit?
because you're derailing the subject. Now, Brenda, what was the problem? What happened?
Well, I came into the channel and was instantly muted for no reason at all. I hadn't even said anything. I was just muted.
You're sure that was me?
Well, who else?
That's who Chemo said did it.
Okay.
Let's
think about this then.
Yeah, I don't have access to the record, so I had to go by what he says. I asked.
No, I said Kosho and Veach. I didn't just say Kosho, but we can put it down to one of those two.
Right. So, Brenda, when I've muted you before, I don't know if I muted you that day. When I mute somebody, it's not for no reason. It's because they're interrupting a different conversation. So if I did mute you that day, there might have been a reason. The way it sounds like, if you just came in the room and you weren't even talking and you were muted right away, I don't do things like that. If Chemo gave you the information that I did, I think the signs point to maybe.
No, I didn't say you. I said Kosho and Veach, because that's what you both do in tandem together. And you slow the conversation. You don't allow people to speak. Okay, these guys are not children. They don't need you to tell them, can you stop talking, speak like this, speak like that. They know what they're doing. They know if they're shouting, if they want to be a bit loud and aggressive, that's up to them. They don't need you to tell them.
I'd really like to be loud and aggressive right now.
Like that. Now, if I say, Lewis, stop talking,
thank you.
stop talking,
It's my
Lewis.
turn to be loud and aggressive. Please respect that.
There you go. People should be free to speak
I
and
think the
express.
other problem I've got there, Chemo, is again, you're being a complete hypocrite because you're just saying you don't like what I talk about. That's why you've muted me in the past, because you think it's derailing, even though I'm generally on fucking point.
Well, I don't think the people in here act like adults. I go to other servers where it's properly monitored and people act like fucking adults and not like the fucking children in this fucking server.
High five on that one.
None of you act like adults. None of you. You're just fucking children.
Neither do you, Brenda. Neither do you.
And that's the point. So if none of us are adults, then why is someone trying to moderate and tell others how to speak if we're all children? Doesn't make sense.
It's okay. She left.
Oh, gosh.
Well done, Chemo. You've driven her off again.
I brought her back, actually.
Thinking about it's clear to anyone with eyes in here to see what you're doing right now.
Anyway,
So
time's
my
up. So
advice
enjoy your
is
moderation with Kosho, where you guys won't be allowed to speak freely and openly, and like Moyuk wasn't able to finish his thought.
Like you always prevent me from doing.